Here we go.
This is not an end.
A brand new show.
But a beginning.
With the same faces you know.
This is the moment when the dawn breaks.
Starting from scratch.
The curtain goes up.
We're here
This is the dawn of a new era.
to ramble. Welcome to a new era of podcasting. This is Ramblers Unleashed.
I kind of hope we're live. I don't know if we are or not. But if we are, cool. That means you can see us, but we can't see you, which is okay. It's all right. Sometimes I wish you couldn't see me, but it's cool. It is what it is. It's probably why I work in radio. Anyway, what's up? It's Dizzy. And holy crap, we are back. That over there, Dongzilla, also known as the Baron.
The Baron.
The Baron. I almost forgot your name, but I remembered it in the next.
That's highly fucking rude there, Diz.
I know. Yeah, I know. And right next to me, God, I can't. I'm backwards. It's weird. I'm backwards. I know. It's MaxiPad.
Hey, I know you guys miss me. Who gives a shit about this Dizzy guy? It's the Max Mages you came for.
So I hope, like I said, I hope we're live. I don't know. I'm checking checking our channel right now, and it doesn't. Oh, yeah, there we go. There it is. We have a feed right now. The feed is right there. So yeah, we're live. We did it! Yay! And
I was gonna say, I just found this on. I guess it's been so long that I had scrolled down to find rambling about wrestling. Because it's been. When was the last time we were live? Let's see.
No, I don't remember the last time we were live.
Streamed 1 year ago, boys.
Holy crap!
1 year. Okay, what day was that? May 23rd. 2020.
That was our last stream.
Unless this is out of order, let me.
No, this would be Ramblers Unleashed. I'm going to the new channel. Well, I mean, this is.
It just redirects them over to that channel, or.
It does, yeah. I mean, basically, rambling about wrestling, whatever you wanted to call it, is now Ramblers Unleashed.
Okay.
So people can go to the same channel. I think it's still youtube.com/Rambler, like Ramblers rambling about wrestling or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, we're back. Yeah. And we have 3 people watching. Thank you so much for watching. See, the masses have returned to us. They are truly faithful. How the hell are you guys?
Better now that I've seen both of your beautiful faces, and it's been over a year.
Yeah, I know.
That's actually insane, dude.
I know. Hey, double agent, double. My boy, man. What's up, agent? How you doing, buddy? Glad to see you guys are alive and well. Absolutely, man. Coronavirus didn't knock any one of us down, man, at all. And,
well, we wish it had knocked Dizzy down, but that's just us.
Well, it sounds like something else is knocking him down a little bit, Wink, wink.
Right. Salt Shaker, what's up, man? Yes, what the fuck? Are we live? We are alive, or we are live. Yes, we are live. And
that is actually that's my account.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah. I'm Salt Shaker. Okay, so this is my Google Chrome account, right?
Uh-huh.
So yeah. I got into this when we were in quarantine. I got into this thing where I'm like, I'm going to leave every place that I've had to deal with a review. So I was leaving reviews of my previous employer or restaurants, and some of them got pretty fucking negative. So I had to make a whole different name. So Salt Shaker, just because you're shaking up the salt a little bit and making it salty. So I was like, that's a pretty cool name. And so yeah, I definitely had to change that.
Well, where did Dongzilla come from?
Well, obviously my girlfriend. I'm like, where else would it have came from? It wasn't given to me at birth.
I've only had it since birth. Is that what you said?
It will be on the tombstone.
Exactly right. That's so funny. Max, how you holding up over there in Colorado, man?
Oh man, I haven't stopped working yet. Except I finally got my vacation last month. Took 2 weeks off. Went to Houston for a week of that. Wish I hadn't, because Texas is hot, man.
Yeah.
Wait, so are you in Texas now?
No. I was in Texas for a week, but I'm back home in Colorado.
Why did I think you were in Florida?
Oh God, no. No. Don't get me started on the problems with Florida.
Well, I think those two places are pretty similar, and other than
Max, I thought you said at one point you were going to move to Texas, or you were.
That's what I was thinking too. The last time we talked, probably a year ago, you said you might be moving to Texas.
Here's the thing. I'm still doing the day job up here, but I'm supposed to be getting a job doing tech work down in Texas for McDonald's, for one of the owners down there.
Right.
The problem is the pandemic pushed everything back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that job is not available, and we don't know at this point when it will be. So for now, I keep doing the day job here that I actually kind of dislike.
And actually, what is it that you do?
I work for probation monitoring UAs.
Okay.
So he's that guy when we go take a piss test that we don't like, and we're begging and pleading for him to save our lives when it comes to the piss test. He's the guy.
Help us.
He's the guy I made plenty eye contact with while taking a piss.
He's that guy.
Not this guy personally, but you know what I'm saying.
Then he shuts the light off and films you.
Oh no.
With night vision.
No.
Hey, listen, we have a sign up at the front door that says no recording devices beyond this point, and that goes for staff too.
And do you follow that to the T? You follow
Well,
that
I did kind of drill a hole in the back of the filing cabinet and pop the camera in there. So it points right at, no, that's beside the point. We can't let probation know I said that.
Oh, now it's worldwide now. Everybody's going to find out. Going to hit USA Today and everything. Everybody's going to know, man.
Yeah. It's a good thing probation loves me then, huh?
Right. Yeah. Well, here's one of the reasons why we are live right now. And it's because that we've been on a hiatus for, I don't even know when did you say the last show was, Baron?
May 23rd, 2020.
So a lot has happened since then. We obviously went through a pandemic. We obviously went through a year. So I think it's time that we, bring the show back. And, we were talking about this in chat in Facebook, and I still want to talk about wrestling, but I don't want it to be like an entire show dedicated to wrestling, like what we did with rambling about wrestling. But I still think that there is plenty to talk about, because Vince McMahon is letting his brand just freaking tank, while AEW is stealing all of his former talent that he's letting go. So we want to talk about that, and we also want to talk about what the hell is going on with the world. World's pretty fucking nuts right now, as it was when we last did the show. So that's kind of why we want to bring the show back, and because I think we deep down, all three of us miss it. Do you guys miss it? Do you guys miss on a weekly basis just getting on the internet and just bullshitting like we used to do back in the days?
Well, I missed Baron.
Yeah, I miss Max.
Yeah, nobody.
Of course, I missed it, and it's a good, therapy for anybody. Just getting on, talking to people you haven't talked to in a while. We all went through the wrestling stage together, and I agree though, like with you, Dizzy, about what we talk about. I've been kind of off. I wouldn't say off the scene of wrestling, but I'm keeping up and I'm watching it weekly, but very vaguely.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm as invested as I was when we were doing this, like 5 years ago. Has it been 5 years ago? Probably.
I think so.
But it's awesome, definitely, to talk to you guys again and go on air, because it's just, I mean, it's good to talk.
It is good to talk. It's good to get things off of, our chest and stuff like that. And it also, like you said, you still watch wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling since, God, I can't even remember how long it's been. It's been a while, but I haven't watched. The last time I watched wrestling was whenever the last AEW show was on, and I think it was like 4 days ago. I don't even know what Thursdays or something like that.
Friday, right? Yeah, it was Friday when their last show was on.
Anyway, I watched that, and I didn't even watch all of it, but that's the last time that's the first time in a while that I've watched professional wrestling.
I don't really watch the weekly shows right now. I'm busy watching other stuff and working 50 hours a week, so it's not like I have, all the free time to do it like I used to. But I do watch any pay-per-view we get here, and so that means that next Saturday I'll be watching SummerSlam. Let's not even speculate on why they moved that to a Saturday. Not really certain there. But I want to touch on something I didn't watch last night, but I've seen the pictures from two big pieces of news that came out of an AEW related show from last night. One of them is Christian and one of them is
Flair.
Flair asked for his release from the WWE, and what does he do? He shows up with El Idolo at Triple Mania.
Well, I kind of knew that he was going to go somewhere else. I mean, he's in AEW now, right?
Well,
no.
That's the speculation, but
he could do shows like Triple Mania, but based upon his contract, he's not allowed to do, like AEW for at least 90 days. He's got
I thought that 90-day clause was null and void when it came to Flair. Everybody else, because it's a legend clause. He had a legend contract.
See, and I'm not sure where they went with his 90-day clause. What I do know is Bronson Reed only was signed to a 30-day no-compete clause. And if you guys have been looking at his Twitter, he tweeted out – hold on. Let me pull this up for you because this is pretty damn amazing, actually. I really enjoyed reading this. He tweeted out – that's not the one. Where'd it go? Oh, did he take it down? He might have had to take it down. But he tweeted something that went straight down the left side. It was, if you looked at the first letter on each word, it says, "Give me Miro."
Ah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that posted on Miro, which would have been Rusev.
Oh, Rusev. Yeah.
Yeah. Rusev is the current, TNT champion?
Yeah.
What's his name now on AEW?
Miro, M-I-R-O.
Miro. Okay. Gotcha. See, that's how long I saw, and it's weird because I saw him on a promo on AEW, and I said, "Oh, that's Rusev."
Oh, here it is.
Rusev.
Grinding in violence, every match, every moment is reality, of course. And like I said, it spells out Miro down the left side, but that's not the only one he did. He did another one a couple days ago that says he did released an international during a pandemic. So rad. But the other one that's important says, "I'm inevitable, surely here I stuff it. Let me slap that little potato around." It spells out Ishii, I-I-S-H-I.
And who's Ishii?
I believe he's in New Japan.
Ah, that would make sense, yes. Because I am not caught up on wrestling. I haven't watched, like I said, I haven't watched it in a long time. So that is why I have all the questions for Max. But it's cool. It's cool. So I think this is what we're going to do is we're just going to come on and just kind of shoot the shit, if you will, and talk about whatever crosses our mind. And
Yeah, I think we'll have to get back to, I mean, like the in-depth wrestling talk because big things are going to happen this coming.
Yeah.
Is it? When is Rampage?
Rampage aired Friday night.
I mean, there's another Rampage, right? In Chicago.
Hold on.
August 20th, 2021. So that would be this coming Friday. So they had 2 Rampages.
What are they doing with Rampage? Is that a special event or is that another secondary show like Thunder?
I think it's like the easiest way to say it would be like in your house.
Well,
okay.
Technically, Rampage is supposed to be their SmackDown, and the problem is that it's already starting to get speculation from the fans that it might be more like Thunder than SmackDown. But one thing that Tony Khan did say is he wants it to focus more on the women. So Rampage would be more women, less of the males, and Dynamite would be more of the males, less of the females.
So basically, a male brand and a female brand, and then they have another brand that's just a mix.
That you're talking about the Dark. I don't really watch the Dark unless I'm trying to watch a certain somebody wrestle, because that's the man right there, and that guy's going to go a long way.
Who's that? Not Dallin.
That's Rob Risen.
Darby Allin, Rob Risen. Okay.
Rob Risen's the one I'm talking about. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing a tag team, Darby Allin, Rob Risen. I think that'd be great.
That'd be cool. Yeah. That would be neat. So I think this sounds like a good idea. And it's whenever all 3 of us can do it because we're all pretty busy. But I think we collectively all missed doing this.
Oh, absolutely. It's awesome to hear your voice, Dizzy and Maxie. I missed you both. I'm sure everybody missed the both of you as well. But yeah, it's
good God.
So it goes in this order. I missed Baron the most. I missed Double O Agent the next, and then everybody else, and then Dizzy.
Yeah, it just falls down the list, and then I'm just somewhere here blanketing in everybody else's glory. So it's cool.
Look, I missed Virgil more than I missed you, Dizzy.
Oh no!
Oh, that's sad. Did you miss Gilbert more than you missed me?
Gilbert?
Gilbert.
I miss Gilbert more than just about anybody except Baron and Double O Agent.
Gilbert.
It's funny we were talking about wrestling because I didn't watch the match. I don't remember the promotion either. But Enzo Amore was in a casket match against Jerry Lawler this weekend.
Oh,
can you just imagine that match? And when I start thinking about it, and I start thinking about all the ECW tapings we had to fucking go through, and that would probably be the closest similarity between the 2.
We never even got through all the
God, that was awful. That was torture.
But it was so much fun
It was a lot of fun. But it was.
And now I will tell you, it sucked putting in all the freaking sound effects because every single sound effect that you heard on the ECW shows, which by the way, I think you can still maybe go watch them. I don't know if I took them down or not, but every single episode that you hear on the ECW thing it's all pre-recorded, and I had to put all of that shit together, and that was it took a long time for me to put every single show together. A long time.
Wasn't that how that music went that you always played for me?
Yeah.
Gotta find it. I don't know.
The sad Max. The sympathy violin from Max.
You know what it is, man. Like,
listen, if it makes you feel any better, Dizzy, I missed you more than I missed Lex Luger.
Okay. Well, I'll take that, I guess.
That was heartfelt. I felt it.
Did you feel it? Yeah, I felt it. I felt the love there. I don't even know where that piece of music is, man. I really don't. And because I have a lot of stuff saved on our hard drives. On my hard drive, I have all of the old shows saved somewhere, and all of the all the sound effects that I used for rambling, I have somewhere. I just don't know where it is. And I'll be completely honest. I took an edible at about 3, or actually, no, it was about 1 o'clock. And I am still fucking feeling it, man. That's the only good thing about Illinois is that, we can all get high. Hopefully be nice to one another because we're all happy.
Well, you could have done that all along. You just, waited until it was.
Well, yeah, I mean,
legal.
But it wasn't legal. So that's.
Well, who cares?
Yeah, right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You could be doing a lot of worse things in life than
that is absolutely.
Smoking or.
What is it Aladdin says? It's only illegal if you get caught.
Mm-hmm. This is very true, too.
Yeah. That's true. So, and I'm still trying to.
Let me ask you, what made you switch? Because I know for years that we've been doing the show together, I was Mr. High Guy.
You were.
As you could tell probably by, you guys can't see it. I was going to show them the Ramblers Unleashed header. Obviously, that's me, Baron, with the bloodshot eyes. But what made you start doing it? Is there, just
what made
stress? Yeah.
Start doing rambling?
No, edibles.
Oh, the edibles. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I have really high anxiety, and
great Mel Brooks movie.
I know, and I don't know. I just wanted to, I guess, feel what I felt when I did it when I was younger, just to see if just to see what it felt like and if I missed it, and I kind of did, but I can't smoke anymore. Like I smoked, God, for years and years and years, and I'm talking cigarettes. So when I smoked weed, I could handle it, but now I think I would have virgin lungs for me to even try to smoke it. And and no offense, Baron, but I don't want to stink. And every time, but it's weird because every time I've been around you, every time I've been around you and you've smoked, I've never smelled pot on you.
Well, it's a myth. It doesn't linger like cigarette smoke.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say myth, but I mean people would smell. But the person that's going to smell that weed on someone is yourself, because it goes through your nose, and that's what's stuck in your nose, just like smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, if you ever did smoke and you're worried about your lungs, you would want to take them in moderations. You don't want to go and smoke a big old fat joint. Moderations, and nothing going in your lungs is good, obviously.
Good no.
But
anything foreign in your lungs is not
right.
good.
It's not, but it's actually extremely good for your immune system.
Yeah.
While smoking THC. And edibles as well too. So I mean, if you don't like smoking, obviously edibles is a good secondary. I just like that high, For me, and I've been smoking so long, it would take me like 2 or 3 edibles in order to get that high from smoking.
And it's kind of funny that yesterday I went to the we'll call it the weed store, because it's not the name, but
dispensary.
Yes, thank you. I don't want to say the name because A, they're not paying to sponsor us, and B, I don't want to get in trouble. So I went to the dispensary. Thank you, Max. Nick is helping me with the big words that I can't remember right now.
Which is pretty much all the big words.
All the time, asshole. Anyway, I went to the dispensary and I got 3 things. So one, they're like the hard candies. They're like, they come in mints, or you can get them in like a fruit type of thing, but they're sour fruit. I got the sour fruit ones, and those a piece only have 2 milligrams. So normally I was taking 4, because I took 2 the first time I got it, and I'm like, I can't feel shit. I don't feel anything. So then I took 4 the next time, and I totally felt something. and it was fun.
I felt it that time. It got me good.
I had a good time. Let's just say that. But I went there and I bought those the hard candy type of thing, and then I bought two sets of gummies, and one of the sets the guy said that it would help with bedtime and things like that and help you sleep. And the other gummies that I bought, he said, well, these will make you feel energetic and happy and all that. I don't know. I took one last night, the bedtime one, and I was knocked out. Like I was just easy. I was calm. I was nice. And then I went to sleep, and I didn't wake up until about 9 o'clock this morning. And I mean, that was some good sleep though. But then I got up and I took a what is it? A stevia, I think.
What's that?
The stevia. I think it's a
Sativa.
Sativa, yeah.
Yeah.
Sativa. I took that at 1 o'clock. Shut up, Max.
Stevia is a brand of sugar, just so you know.
It looks similar, spelling wise.
Hey.
He said, "Man, I got that." He threw it on the ground and snorted it all up. It was good, bro.
Oh boy,
That's
love
hilarious.
you guys. I love you guys.
Well, yeah. So your sativa is your high energetic brand strain, and then your indica would be your nighttime. But they make hybrids now where you can get blend of both. So that's probably the best.
My point was I don't really feel energetic or anything like that. I'm fucking tired is all.
Well, so a sativa versus an indica. So a sativa is a head high. Indica would not be a head high. So that's a body high. That's why you get sleepy and you're sleeping for hours. So if you're going to feel anything through a sativa strain, it's going to be in your head. So it's really good for someone that has a mental illness, anxiety, or along those things.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, if anybody would know, it would be you.
I know more about weed than your average Joe.
You are a connoisseur of connoisseurs.
It's funny you say that because I was supposed to start at a dispensary the third week of August, and they pushed it back. I think here in Missouri, since we're having some pretty bad COVID cases still, they're now switched it to the third week of September. So I'll be starting in a dispensary then, which is going to be awesome.
Would it be a full-time gig? Is it a full-time?
Yeah, 17 an hour to sell weed. Do you understand? Like, no matter what in my life, I'm taking that job.
Yeah, right. I know.
So
that's a dream.
I know.
Listen, I want to say something real quick on the subject of marijuana. And does he understand that you're excluded from what I'm about to say, even though you fall under part of this? Cracks me up that you have all these conservatives that tell you you can't be trusting the government. Don't trust the government. And yet they buy into every bit of research that the government put out about marijuana, saying that it is bad for you and all this other crap. But then how is it that science is proving that it's better for you medically than some of these other medications they prescribe? That those papers that they released all those years ago are so full of BS that it's not even funny. And Dizzy, you understand the medical aspects of it. That's why I said you're not included in this.
Okay. Well, I mean, I
don't think it matters truly which side of the boat you're on this subject, because the main reason why marijuana has never been introduced legal in our country, in the United States, is pure based on pharmaceutical companies,
they
willing
don't-
to drop donors, so like
Right.
they don't want to donate to the congressman of whatever state. That's the sole reason. They've done plenty of research to understand what the benefits and side effects of doing
one of the
marijuana is.
biggest things is why they haven't legalized weed until now is because they didn't know how to tax it. They need to get their piece of the pie too. So they did not know how to tax. There's a tax on everything that you buy, whether it be beer, cigarettes, groceries, whatever the case you're buying. They know how to tax that, and they've definitely got this thing down. But they didn't know how to tax marijuana. They're like, well, fuck, how are we going to do that?
Well, they knew exactly how to tax it because they had hundreds of years of cigarettes on how they tax cigarettes, so they knew how to. But the thing was, they didn't want to because pharmaceutical companies that create trillions of dollars would then be, like people that are taking anxiety medicine. They wouldn't ever have to take that medicine again because that's exactly what THC does for you. Fixes your anxiety.
While we're on the subject of pharmaceuticals, it's bad enough that they are screwing over something that actually works, like marijuana, and that industry with their practices and the money that they're putting into the government's pockets. But then they turn around and stuff like diabetes medication, which marijuana really doesn't help with diabetes. But shit like that, they're also price gouging everybody on that. They're like, oh, you get to choose between taking your diabetes medication or dying this month. I mean, it's your choice, really.
Well, that's just the greed. This, our healthcare system. That's just how it is. It's just
greed.
And don't even get me started on Martin Shkreli, that piece of shit.
$11 in New Jersey for a pack?
In fucking New Jersey. Well, if you go to Washington State, when I smoked in Washington State, and this was in 2000, what was it, 2007, 8, something like that. I bought a pack of cigarettes, and matter of fact, I think they were Newports, and I paid $9 in 2006 or 7 for a pack of fucking Newports. And now I totally believe that they are $11 in New Jersey. Believe that, because I would hate. I mean, here in Illinois, they're $6 or $7 a pack, and that just depends on what kind of brand you buy.
I remember in
Missouri is the lowest. And all of the states obviously is the lowest. I mean, it's the cheapest place to buy cigarettes. That's why people come over state lines from Illinois to buy cigarettes.
Well, that's what they did in Washington, Washington State. There was a reservation somewhere in Washington, and you can go buy cigarettes cheaper than what you could in the city, and it was insane. And
15, wow! But a lot of these states that are high priced like that, they're not paying the taxes on them. So in Arizona, I know for a pack of cigarette is, I'll throw a number out there because I'm not 100% sure. Like, let's say $8. Yeah. But the taxes are also much lower. So you're not paying high taxes on it. So
and I know that Colorado has kind of the gas prices that Illinois does, right? It's a little more. They're about even on prices, correct?
It's about $3.50 right now for a gallon regular.
Yeah, so it's a little bit cheaper here. It's a little bit cheaper here. Unless it's weird, because if you go about an hour south to where near to my job, or in the same city as my job, you'll pay about 20 cents less than you will when you go further north. It's crazy, and that's because they're so close to Missouri.
So I don't mind spending a little bit extra on the taxes, on the floor tax on my cigarettes, if they're putting the tax where they are saying it's going. The taxes on marijuana here in Colorado and the taxes on cigarettes, every time they introduce the vote to increase that tax, they say, hey, what we're doing with this is we're putting it into public schooling. If that's the case, why are parents and teachers spending more money every single year when I know how much you're making off of smokers and marijuana smokers in Colorado on taxes? Why isn't that gone down?
Well, they tell you that, but they don't tell you the percent of the taxes going to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but the lottery is also supposed to help with money going back into schools too, and they've been criticized in the past about not, having more money going to their pockets than there were going into the school district.
Well, let's just be honest here. We know damn well a small percent of taxes are going to teachers or public education. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic.
My wife is one of them. My wife is one of them that she's so. I mean, my wife, before she left her old job, which was at a school district about 10 minutes away from my house, to a different school district that's about 30 minutes away from my house, she immediately jumped like 25, maybe close to 30,000 more than what she was making at her old job. And she got a pay raise at her new job when she came in, because the board was, they were discussing on, what kind of wages that they were going to give their raises they were going to give the teachers. So my wife, she went from $35,000 a year job to nearly $60,000 job.
Listen, I don't care which side of the political aisle you're on. I'm just going to say this to everybody out there. Teachers are the ones getting the worst deal out of these low pay wages that are out there. Teachers bust their asses. They spend their own money. Everybody thinks the teacher job is like a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job, and that is absolutely not true. These teachers work weekends. They work through the summer to get lesson plans for the next year ready when they're not already doing summer school as well. Teachers need to be paid better. They need more of your respect. And if you don't want to show teachers your respect, get the hell out of the way and let someone come in that will show them respect and pay them properly.
Yeah, I totally agree. You got to think about it. I don't know what time you guys started school when you were in school, but you're there longer in school, public education, than you are at home. By the time you turn 18, most people are out of their parents' house.
Yeah.
So they have a lot to do with how you grow up, how you teach, just by things you've learned and just everything in general. So any teacher is making less than $60,000 a year. That's just, to me, is just baffling.
I know, and you haven't. Man, they work through a lot.
Just imagine having to deal with Dizzy in school. That poor lady should have had $150,000
terrible
a year.
I would have transferred to a different district in a different state.
Terrible. Awful. I was such a terrible student, mainly because I didn't do my homework.
Mainly because all you wanted to do in class was blast Nickelback.
How did you figure me out, man?
I've known you long enough. Baron and I know these things about you.
Wow. You totally read my mind every time. It's insane how well you
let me tell you what you're thinking right now.
Yeah.
You're thinking, I hate you, Max. I hate you, Max. You're just holding back from saying it because you know how much joy it gives me when you actually say it yourself.
That's true. But right now, what I'm really thinking is, where in the hell did I put all of these fucking sound effects? Where the hell are they? I don't know where. I have no idea.
There was a couple good ones with our old pal Bubba.
Oh, yes, and I don't know where that's at. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Good old Bubba.
Oh, we miss you, Bubba.
We do miss Bubba.
I think he's doing all right.
Good.
Bubba's still the only person I know to have a live stream on a live stream.
Yes, absolutely. And I think from what I understand, Bubba's about to have another kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, congrats.
That's what his wife said, Mrs. Bubba. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. They've already got one, and he's cool. I think his name is Michael, but he's a spitting image of Bubba when he was a kid, man. It's like, whoa. Well, and here's the thing, Agent. So I have a soundboard built into my mixer. I just don't know where all these MP3s are at all. I have no idea. I've lost them in the mass of my computer. I've lost a lot of shit.
Poor Diz.
So that I don't even know. I don't even know where I have the old episodes, all the old episodes. I just don't know where they are.
I don't think they're on that YouTube page anymore. I think once you switch over, you lost all those videos.
No, I physically
Oh, you physically have them.
Yeah, I physically have them somewhere. I just don't know where they are.
And Agent, of all the things Dizzy's lost, he misses his mind the most.
That's true. I lost that a long time ago. So if somebody finds it, Please send it back.
Just keep it. Just keep it.
In care of
Same with my mind. Keep it.
in care of prison. I can't even. I don't even know. And I've looked at all these folders.
Do you guys remember when this whole thing started?
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be you and Bubba, and you wanted me occasionally as a guest. And then Dizzy joined, or not Dizzy, then Baron joined, and I just never went away because everybody knows that it's Baron and then me. We're the best two on the show. That's why I never went away. And then we added J-Bone, and then we've had a slew of other guests on the show over the years. And yet,
God, we did, man. We had
a lot. We had Pudding Brain.
Yep.
We had Seam Styles.
Yep.
After that, my mic was
we had Jack Winan.
We had Jack.
Ant's been on the show at least once.
Yeah. And I conducted an interview with Ant solo, just because he's such an interesting character that I needed. I'm like, dude, I got to talk to you. Like, we have to talk. And so that's on the channel somewhere. But throughout the years, some of the guests that we've had on, besides CM Styles and Puddin' Brain and Jack and some of the guys would occasionally join us from the Russell Attic. But some of the bigger guests that we've had on, at least rambling about wrestling, we had Kat Von Hees. She was our first guest. I don't know how he scored this one, but J-Bone like somehow got Krista Joseph to join us on the live stream. And I remember because Jason got him on and I said, okay, guys, are you ready to go? And as soon as I hit the live button, did the intro, did my spiel, introduced Krista Joseph, and I said, hey, I want to shout out Jason because Jason was the one that went out and found this guy, and I think that he should conduct the interview. And Jason just froze. Yeah,
he was awestruck by one of his heroes. But let's just be clear on one thing. I don't care what his birth certificate says. I don't care what he signs on his contracts. His name will forever be Big Dick Johnson.
We've also had JTG join us on
JTG. Yeah,
that may have been one of my favorite interviews that we ever did.
That was a good one, yeah. And I know I saved it somewhere. I know I have it, but
we had a couple of local people as well.
We had
Wrestling Over Everything.
Wrestling Over Everything.
That's what they're called. Is no more.
Right? Wrestling Invades Alton. I know that sucks. They were Wrestling Invades Alton, and then they changed it to Wrestling Invades America, and then something happened there. The brand, I'm not sure what happened to the brand or the product, but or the promotion, I should say. But they went and changed to Wrestling Over Everything, and brought everybody that was in Wrestling Invades America or whatever it over into that promotion, and I think they added a bunch of other people too. But yeah, man, that sucks. I don't know what happened. I guess the pandemic got them. Max, have you heard?
No, I know that the landlord had made a post, and that's how I knew that they had shut down. But now I'm on his page, and I'm not finding that post.
He might have taken.
Well, I know the owner, Tyler Copeland, the one I think interviewed, right? Did we interview him, or did we interviewed?
Yeah, we interviewed him.
Landlord.
I think we interviewed Tyler and the landlord.
Yeah. I know he's wrestling because he just had a match last weekend or weekend before, so he's still wrestling. Tyler Copeland.
As far as I know, Tyler's out here. Well, is out on the West Coast, from something I saw on one of the pages.
So maybe he's trying to do the acting thing or whatever, it is that you want to do. But that was a good time when we went out there. We went out and interviewed everybody.
Yeah.
We did a little commentary. Bubba got up and
Bubba got stuck in the rope, didn't he?
Yeah.
Poor
He
guy.
he couldn't get up either. He couldn't get into the ring.
I'm thinking there was a change of plans because I am on the website for wrestling or the Facebook page for Wrestling Over Everything,
Oh, really?
and it says they had a show August 7th in Centerville.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, nice. So maybe they're still doing it.
Maybe. I mean, you guys aren't that far. You should drive to Centerville and find out.
Now let's.
I don't know where Centerville's at. I don't remember.
Oh, real quick, while we're sitting here talking, and his name's been brought up. Don't worry, landlord. Dizzy's rent is on its way. If you feel the need to hurt him, go for it. We're not gonna be too upset.
Right. It's only an hour 20 from my house to Centerville, and I don't know.
An hour 20? Where's that at?
It's south of Collinsville, so it's south. Wow, yeah, it's near the airport. So Centerville is around the airport. Wow.
So, listen, I don't mean to change the subject, but I know how you like to keep these things to about an hour, Dizzy.
Yeah.
And we're at the 45-minute mark, and there is something that I want to ask you guys before we go off air, so I better bring it up now before I run out of time.
Go ahead.
The speculation in the wrestling world is that there is a deal signed, and rumors state that the signing is done, despite what's being said by the party involved. The rumors state that CM Punk is signed with AEW and should be making his first appearance Friday at Rampage. Now, CM Punk himself was asked at Sunday night's main event or a podcast last weekend about this, and he says they asked him what he's doing August 20th, and he said that they were trying to have a screening of episode 3 of Heels at a movie theater in Chicago, but that could just be a cover. What do you guys think? Do you think CM Punk is going to show up on Friday or not?
Oh, I think for sure he's signed to a deal. And I think Daniel Bryan as well is signed to the deal. Now the bigger question is, Baron, do you give a shit? And personally, no, I do not give a shit. Because let's remember when all this started, when CM Punk was going through lawsuits with his best friend Colt Cabana, he basically said, "Fuck wrestling fans." Do you remember that? Yeah. And his whole gimmick throughout the time as being a wrestler was, I'm not going to be the washed up version of myself. And what is CM Punk about to go do? Be the washed up person, of himself. I think it's going to shake up the wrestling world. I think it's going to be awesome. But I don't care for him. I got into him when his big run with WWE, but I am not that invested with CM Punk as other people are. Is it going to bring in more viewers? Maybe the first night, but I think the hardcore base of wrestling fans that have been watching for years upon years already watch AEW. I don't think AEW does a great job of grabbing hold of what WWE has, and that's the younger audience. And I don't think CM Punk's going to be that one, but it'll be cool. I'll mark out what I see as entrance. After that, I don't really care for anybody in that promotion to see a match with CM Punk, But props to him, man. Make that bread.
I think that when kids were in their 16, 17, and they were at the WWE show and CM Punk dropped his infamous pipe bomb, and after that dropped many more. It only not only did it, raise his popularity with, oh wow, this guy really speaks his mind and he doesn't care, but he will stay somewhat on script. Those guys will follow.
I think those guys are already in AEW. That's a hardcore base from the 16.
Yeah.
They're in their prime watching wrestling now.
When you were 16 or 17 and after the pipe bomb.
Yeah.
And now you're a little bit older, so I think people are going to gravitate to CM Punk more now that he's going to AEW. I just don't know if it's going to last. Now, I've heard rumors and speculation that it's a done deal. Like CM Punk is a done deal, and I think the wrestling fans know it because of all the cheat sheets that are out there, or the dirt sheets that are out there. And they know that he's already struck a deal with AEW, and they try to keep it quiet as much as possible. Because if you listen to or if you watch AEW programming, they're always chasing CM Punk. But it's just like Agent said, I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think, but I really do think that Punk is going to AEW. When will it happen? That's probably going to be on his terms. Will it even wrestle? I don't know.
Right. The thing that annoys me the most about this is, as old school wrestling fans, what was our favorite thing of a Royal Rumble? Who's going to return? Who's going to debut? We didn't know back when we were watching wrestling because we didn't have the dirt sheets. I mean, they had them, but it wasn't like it is today.
Festival. They weren't. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, you could download an app right now that allows you to see all the dirt sheets.
Right.
And back in the 90s, in the 2000s, we didn't have that. Like that wasn't even available to us.
Right.
We knew that there's something out there. There had to be something out there, but they weren't as easily accessible as they are now.
Right.
Okay.
So, just one more thing. Just so now that we know that CM Punk has probably been signed, they give us a date of when he's going to possibly appear. So to me, it kills the wrestling moment for me as being a longtime fan, because we loved those debuts at Royal Rumble or returns, and then we didn't know about it. So when you give a date on someone that's going to possibly be somewhere, it just kind of kills the
hype.
The hype for me. I'm not saying for everyone. I'm saying for me personally.
And that's what I was going to say is that, and I'll let you finish, Max. But that's another thing that I was going to say that I was just thinking about, that all the dirt sheets out there, it's hard for fans to pop anymore over a celebrity or some an old schooler or Hall of Famer to come back. Like if Hulk Hogan were to re-sign with sign with AEW, everybody would know about it. The whole fucking wrestling world would know about it.
Right? Yeah, you're not going to get that Scott Hall, Kevin Nash moment.
You're not going to get that hype. You're not, and you know that they're in WWE and in AEW too. There are leakers. There are leakers out there that go to the dirt sheet websites and they say, hey, here's what's going to happen. Punk just signed this contract, but we're not going to tell you when he's going to come, because I haven't heard a definitive date when Punk's going to show up on AEW. I just know that he's coming.
So first off, I hope he's listening. Dave Meltzer, you're one of the biggest pieces of shit out there when it comes to the dirt sheets. Every time you've been wrong, you've blocked people for pointing out you're wrong, and that's just ridiculous. Own your mistakes. Admit, hey, I was wrong about this, blah, blah, blah. That's all you got to do. If you're a journalist, you do that. You're not a journalist. You're just a useless piece of shit. And as long as there is a Dave Meltzer out there involved in the dirt sheets, personally, I'm going to avoid him as much as possible. But here is a scenario that I read online that I think could work. So Punk and Ryan have been friends for how long? I mean, their friendship stems way back to the gymnasiums before they got signed with the WWE, right?
Who was that?
Now, Punk and Daniel Bryan.
Okay, Punk and Bryan. Gotcha.
You got to clean that shit out of your ears there, Dizzy.
No, you need to upgrade your internet connection because you lagged hardcore. So
we actually did just upgrade the internet connection. Your ears are just plugged with shit.
Well, your internet connection sucks because, you're in Colorado, so you know.
So we know that these two are free from the WWE, and they've been friends for a while. So what if they show up the same way Hall and Nash did years ago? Mm-hmm. Here's where the catch comes in, the twist. Who's their Hogan? Who's their third guy?
Well, that's true. Yeah. Who would be Hogan? Who would be the third guy? The biggest, and you have to say the biggest superstar to ever jump ship from WWE. Because we're going to look at this. We're going to look at it like this, though. Hogan started in WWF and jumped ship to WCW. So who would be that guy?
I don't have to talk about the biggest name to jump ship. All I got to talk about is a guy who is exceptionally over, who has been offered $1 million contract to go to SmackDown or Raw and has not responded to that. His contract is up. He is not currently working under a contract. He's working under day-to-day signings with the WWE, and he'd get to work with his wife if he went and was their third man.
Who are you talking about?
Yeah.
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole, baby.
Oh, okay.
But see,
That would be one that people wouldn't see coming. I can see how it would make sense.
it would make sense, but it would not make sense. And I mean, because CM Punk and Daniel Bryan's going to overshadow Adam Cole any day of the week. Just names alone. Adam Cole's not a household name. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, I would say, would be a household name.
Yeah.
The problem with me and wrestling today is nobody is original. Everything that AEW has done from day one is a carbon copy of what WCW did with TNT. It's the same exact thing. It's 100% the same. The matches, the layout, every single thing. It reminds me of it. They want to sign all these guys and that's great, and they need to, but they have no base. They have no one other than maybe Hangman that can really go into the future as a show, because
and that's the one I was going to mention.
Amazing. Yeah, he could be your John Cena Hogan deal, but the problem is there's nobody else there to support him. You got to have a support.
Did you guys read that Twitter thread that I sent you the other night?
Oh,
I seen it when it was originally posted.
The editorialization of Hangman Page's career up till now, I guess you could say. And I think that the way they're booking this, and this is the longest running storyline in all of pro wrestling right now, because they have really slow burned this over what? It's been 2 years since AEW started in with their first pay-per-view. This thing has burned this whole time and worked its way to this point. And fans don't usually get invested in long-term storylines anymore. You have to give them that quick fix. But as this story continues, more and more people get invested in Hangman Adam Page. A lot of people that tune in don't care about the rest of the show. Don't get me wrong. I love MJF. I think he's one of the best heels in a long time, especially because that man does not break kayfabe. If you go interact with him on Twitter, he's going to tell you what he thinks of you as a heel as opposed to what he thinks of you as a pro wrestler. And that's amazing. But Hangman has been a slow burn for 2 years. This is the one thing I think wrestling companies are doing right now. Vince is making mistakes. I think AEW has been making mistakes, and signing Max Caster was probably one of the dumbest mistakes AEW made. But every wrestling company is making mistakes. The Hangman Page is the best thing right now, because if you actually have paid attention to everything that's happened up till now, this storyline is still going, and it's picking up steam because he's about to get his title shot finally.
Yeah, I love everything he does. I think he's great in the ring. His character, his backstory is phenomenal. I enjoy watching him, but outside of that, it's just I watched Jericho for 30 years, for fuck's sakes. He's doing the same exact thing he was doing 30 years ago. Maxwell, I do enjoy him. I think there's going to be a conflicting thing with him and CM Punk for the mics, because I believe he's actually better than CM Punk ever was on the mic. But we'll have to see with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan coming in. It's going to change the wrestling industry. I don't know if it's going to change for the better.
It'll shake it up for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to change it anyway.
The simple fact, as bad as wrestling has been right now,
right
across the board, SmackDown just got like a 2.4 million rating.
Yeah.
AEW hasn't even cracked a 1.5 ever.
Right.
So that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to have to do a lot more than just bring in all these old WWE guys. It's just not there for the casual fan base that watches wrestling now.
By the way, I have to say this, not to get off topic or anything, but Max, did we interrupt your dinner or something?
I think we did. What are you eating?
Yeah, what
Nothing.
are you? What do you?
My dinner's gone. You didn't interrupt it. I actually sat here and finished it all.
What were you eating?
It was a split decision breakfast from IHOP, so I had French toast, pancakes, bacon, and scrambled eggs.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
That's a fucking stoner meal, man. For real.
And I don't even get stoned.
I know.
He's
quick.
definitely getting stoned. Just walk outside in Colorado and he's
Real
That
quick,
is that
Agent.
Hayes. That
yeah, exactly.
goes
Agent,
off.
I don't know if you heard, Agent, but there are major changes coming to NXT. I guess Vince walked in there and decided it's going back to just being developmental. It's not going to be its own brand going forward. We'll see how this plays out.
I heard Triple H was getting a lot of the blame for the hangover.
Well, of course, that's what Vince is going to do. Vince came in, put his hands in it, and they should have never left the network. They should have stayed on the network with NXT. They shouldn't want to go head to head with AEW. It wasn't going to be in their favor. However, I still enjoy NXT. It's definitely went downhill a lot, but yeah, if they lose Adam Cole, which I don't think Adam Cole's going to be part of NXT anymore. They're definitely going to change that dramatically. But I see him on SmackDown a lot.
Yeah. Well, speaking of shaking up the wrestling world, I heard around the block, and we'll end the show soon, but I heard around the block that, remember the El Rey network with Lucha Underground and all that shit?
Oh, yeah.
So they are starting up a streaming service, purely streaming. It's going to be the El Rey network, but it's not going to be cable based anymore. It's not going to be a linear channel. It's going to be all subscriber based and streaming based. So with that being said, A, would they put the Lucha Underground catalog on the streaming service, and B, will Lucha Underground come back and be a reoccurring show once again? And will they go head to head with AEW? Will they try to go head to head with WWE or NXT or anything like that? What do you think, especially with now that, if they have that rivalry between the El Rey Network and Peacock Network that WWE decided to go to for some stupid fucking reason? I have no idea. Because why were we paying to the fee for WWE Network and then it just gets shuts down and they go to Peacock? I mean, I know
Well, it transferred over to Peacock, where there is some good stuff on Peacock. But let me tell you, that WWE platform for Peacock is fucking dog shit.
Oh yeah,
the worst.
Yeah,
you can't find anything.
What content do they have on Peacock under the WWE tab?
Well, I mean, they have everything they have on the network, and they're slowly bringing in more stuff. But the problem is the organization of it. Like, if you want to find something from the 90s on the network, you can go to the 90s and find pay-per-views from the 90s. Here, you have to go search and fucking do all kinds of shit, and it's just absolutely annoying.
And the other problem is NBC edits for content. So
yeah.
I wish I could be there to watch the guy editing for content when he gets to Mae Young gives birth to a hand.
They're just going to scrap that entire episode.
No.
They're going to say, fuck it.
No. Is Lucha Underground going to come back? Because I'll tell you one guy who's probably going to be the most excited about it, and that would be J-Bone. For Lucha Underground to come back, because I never understood Lucha Underground. I could never get into it. It was too soap opera-ish for me. But do you see them trying to compete with like a NXT and an AEW? Do you see them trying to do that?
I think the more promotions you get that have a base to it, it's good for all the wrestlers, especially if they're getting released from WWE. Will they ever compete with who you just named? Absolutely not. But it's always good to have more shows. That way, people that are being released can go to them. But
yeah,
they're not going to compete with NXT or AEW. There's just no.
I see.
No rhyme or reason.
Personally, I see Lucha Underground trying to compete with Impact because, well, who watches Impact?
Impact is doing pretty damn well.
Are they really?
Impact is doing damn good right now.
That's surprising.
I honestly think the only reason Impact is doing so well right now is because of the fact that they're doing the crossover with NXT, which is giving it some. Well, yeah, with AEW, which is giving it some credibility. I think that's all it is. That's personally my opinion.
Christian Cage just won the damn title. You can't get any better than that.
So
how old is he?
yeah, that's true.
Christian Cage, and he's in phenomenal shape. Like, holy fuck. He is 47. Wow. That's awesome.
So we all started as wrestling fans, and I know that every single person here has got to know about Wrestling at the Chase in St. Louis. Who here does not know about Wrestling at the Chase that is on this show, Wrestling at the Chase in St. Louis? Baron, obviously you know it.
I know it. I've never been to it, though. I mean, that was before our time.
Mainly the question is, you've heard of it, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Max, you've heard of Wrestling at the Chase?
I can neither confirm nor deny because I'm getting old. My memory is not as good as it used to be, and right now I can't recall.
So, Wrestling at the Chase has been a long time figure in St. Louis. Everybody used to go to Wrestling at the Chase or watch Wrestling at the Chase, and it was ran by the NWA, and it's not Eazy-E's crew either. But they, a long time ago, I mean, they had Hogan, they had Flair. That's where Flair came from, was the NWA when he shipped over to wherever he went. But Flair worked his way up in the ranks there. Anyway, I say that to say this: if you enjoyed Wrestling at the Chase, it's coming back, and it's coming back, I believe, on August 29th. They're going to stream their pay-per-view from the Chase Park Plaza Hotel in St. Louis from the 28th through the 31st, and it's going to be on the Fight Network. But that's freaking exciting for everybody because, as we know, Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins is now involved in the NWA. He's actually the president, and it's cool that wrestling is coming back to St. Louis. And I Googled Wrestling at the Chase, and I saw that AEW is coming to St. Louis at some point, and there are other promotions, but it's neat to have the NWA back at the Chase. And I heard that Mickie James is the producer of that pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, her husband is part of NWA. Is he still the champion?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Brutus. What's his name?
Magnus.
Magnus. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her husband, obviously. Which is great for St. Louis, and because St. Louis is a pretty big wrestling.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Especially up in right up north of me, Troy, Missouri, where they have Harley Racing School. They just had a show yesterday, I believe. I wish I would have went, but I'm not trying to. Yeah, I'm not trying to dabble in all that right now. But I think that's good for them because they're obviously going to have a lot of their stars go wrestle there.
Yeah.
Get some exposure. So that's awesome, dude. More wrestling than St. Louis, the better.
Well, yeah, I think it's good for St. Louis. Go ahead, Max.
That upcoming pay-per-view involving Mickie James is supposed to be an all-women's pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's called Empower, and they're.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool.
Here's what it is. The weekend will be kicked off by NWA Empower. It's an all-women's NWA pay-per-view. That starts on the 28th at 7 o'clock. And NWA 73 is on pay-per-view on the 29th, commemorating the 73rd anniversary of the formation of the National Wrestling Alliance in 1948. And then there's also the Fan Fest on the 28th and the 29th. And then NWA Power television tapings on the 30th and the 31st. So that's what's going on. But yes, there is an all women's, and I think that's the one that Mickie James is involved in.
Oh, that'd be good.
You be there?
I don't know if I'd be there. That's good. What's happening? No. What's happening in Missouri right now has got me okay with not having to go to a large amount of, groupings. But that's good. I remember them saying that years ago that Wrestling at the Chase was coming back, but I didn't know it was going to be that soon.
Well, and the
That's
only
definitely
reason
good.
that I knew that Wrestling at the Chase is coming back is at the radio station that I work at. You can, by the way, you can actually listen to Smash Daily on podcast form. But he talked to Billy Corgan at the Chase Park Plaza, and
Oh, really?
he also talked to one of the head guys, Steve Church, who is helping throw most of the pay-per-views. I think, if not all the pay-per-views that the NWA is putting on. But it's really cool. If you want to go listen to it, you can just search on your favorite podcast platform, whether it be Apple, Google, Spotify, whatever, and just search for Smash Daily, SMASH Daily, and you'll find it there. But that's how I found out about it, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't have the fight network, but I'm looking forward to it.
Fight? I don't think I have that either. I'm not sure what would it be under. What is it like on a Peacock? Is it on,
I think it's
or
just
is-
I think it's an app that you have to subscribe to.
oh, okay.
I think. I'm not
Because
sure.
I know a lot of those apps blend into another app, and if that's a network,
So
then
if
that
you
would
go
be on an app.
Fight.tv, that's where you can subscribe to it. You can get Fight Plus, Triller versus Pass, Honor Club, and NWA Power. 3 new episodes of Power each month. Full catalog of current Power shows, and all sorts of other stuff. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
All right, I'm an asshole, so I have one last thing to say before I let these guys decide how much longer they want to drag this out.
We're gonna wrap it up soon.
I recently discovered that there is a possibility that Spider-Man is going to get delayed yet again. So, for all you anti-maskers, for all you anti-vaxxers, get out there, get your fucking shot, get your fucking masks on, and listen to what they're telling you, because if I got to keep pushing back my Spider-Man, I'm blaming all of you, and I'm going to come vaccinate you one at a time if I got to. And the purpose of the vaccination is not just to protect you. It's to protect those people out there that cannot get the vaccination because it'll make them deathly sick because of their genetics or whatever. We have to protect them as well as ourselves. So get your fucking shot.
Bruh.
Here.
Bruh. Did you see his eyes?
Oh, yeah.
His fucking eyes. You look like a freaking White Walker, bro.
That's as we say, that's vintage Max. That's vintage Max.
I want these people to know how serious I am about this.
My God.
And before somebody tells me that the vaccine is injecting you with a microchip, hello, you dumbass.
Well, all I know is I got my shot and my booty got thicker. So
shot. We went from wrestling to the fucking shot.
I got my shot and my booty got thicker.
Max,
Let me
you
just
did
say.
like fucking 360. I tell you what, though, I got both of my shots. I was sick as fuck.
I was
on
too
both
after the
of those
second one.
shots, dude.
I think that's normal.
On my ass, bro. I'm
Yeah,
telling you. And I had
was
COVID, and it was worse than fucking having COVID. I'm like, fuck, I'll take COVID over this shit. This was terrible.
Yeah, that second one got me pretty damn good. Luckily, it was gone for 24 hours. But the good thing he said about Spider-Man, I hope they don't delay any more stuff because there's a lot of shit that's on state or that's going to be coming out on TV or a movie. And I agree. I don't want to miss any.
We still don't have the trailer for Spider-Man. And there's a lot of speculation. That's because the Delta variant is starting to put hospitals back at capacity. And the second trailer for Venom that came out, Let There Be Carnage, doesn't have a release date like the first trailer did, which tells people that they're looking at possibly pushing back Venom now, too. If Venom gets pushed back, Spidey gets pushed back, and I'm not going to be a happy person if that happens.
No, that would not be good. But I also think movie theaters are, even before COVID ever hit, I think that was kind of a downhill thing anyways. I think if they're not being released on HBO Max or something of that sort, they're not going to get the exposure they want.
Straight to home streaming has absolutely annihilated the fucking movie theaters. And it's so stupid how they decide like HBO Max says, well, hey, we're going to drop Wonder Woman, but when we drop Wonder Woman, we're going to have them both on the platform and we're going to have them on the theater. And it's like, why? When turn over to Disney Plus. Disney Plus, when they dropped Mulan, when that live version of Mulan came about, they were charging like $20 and they weren't even going to drop it until like a month later. So you had to pay a $20 fee to watch it on Disney Plus and then wait for it to come back on through the theater or whatever. It's like,
Right, yeah, no.
I'd just rather watch it in the fucking theater than pay $20 to Disney Plus, which I already fucking pay for to
Right.
watch a movie. That's ridiculous. And I also think it's stupid to, have it drop both ways on the streaming platform and the movie theater, because that's killing the movie theater business. You got to realize that.
Well, hold
movie
on.
theaters are fucking.
It was the pandemic that caused the issues for the movie theater business. Movie companies were still looking for a way to get their product out there, and this was the solution they had because people couldn't go to theaters because of the pandemic.
right, but
Yeah, no, definitely. You're right. The numbers are still there for movies, but it was slowly going down. I mean,
yeah.
Avengers were obviously making a large amount of money, or a Star Wars movie or whatever, but you could definitely tell how they put out all the fucking blockbusters out of business.
Yeah.
It's just.
Netflix.
No. Blockbuster put Blockbuster out of business. They had an opportunity to get in on the ground floor of both Redbox and Netflix, and they're like, no, our system works just fine. And then what happened? Oh, we're out of business.
It's true. Yeah.
Well,
it's
they
true.
did try. I mean, they did try to create a streaming service. Actually, it was similar to Netflix. When Netflix started up, Netflix would either send you the DVD in the mail, or you could stream it directly through Netflix through your internet. And a lot of people chose the DVD and never sent them back, but they would get charged for them. But
and then they would send them back, and when they did send them back, they were scratched up to all fucking hell. And that was usually the disc that I got, and I couldn't watch the movie I wanted. That was our luck when Netflix was starting.
damn it, I want to watch Independence Day, and all it's doing is just skipping.
Skipping.
Oh my God, dude. Well, this has been fun. This has really been a good time. I'm glad that we all got together and did it. And we need to do it more often because there's a lot of shit to talk about. There's a lot of shit going on in the world, and there's a lot of shit pissing off Max. And I just want to hear what's pissing Max off at this current point in time, which we all know now is Spider-Man. So it's all good. And those blue
Right now,
eyes,
it's your face.
bro. Does Matt Baron? Does he not look like a fucking White Walker?
White Walker? A little bit, actually, with his blue eyes, yeah.
Yes,
The blue eyes, yeah.
Walker.
They are awful bright.
They are, man. My wife and I just got through rewatching Game of Thrones.
Oh, so you've actually rewatched it. Let me ask you this before we go off air.
Yep.
Is it better the second time?
Yes, it's definitely better the second time around.
Because I was
Even though you know what's going to happen,
Right.
some of it you do and some of it you don't, because a lot of it you forgot about. But as soon as you watch that first episode, you're like, oh, I remember what happened here, especially after Joffrey's king, especially when Joffrey was king. It is it is definitely, it brings back memories. You're like, oh, I remember how Joffrey dies. Yes.
It was a phenomenal show all the way to that final
absolutely.
episode. All the way to that final episode.
Oh my God, that final episode was great. Yeah. Agent says, once again, glad to see you guys and make What's Pissing Off Max a segment on the show. We should.
Definitely.
It could be Max
ranting with Max.
We can't do Max versus Dizzy because Dizzy would just get way fucking livid.
Give Max a segmented time and let him just rant about whatever it is.
Good, because we gave Jason like 5-10 minutes to talk about Lucha Underground on Rambling About Wrestling before we went.
Of course, we need a good piss break, so this would be perfect.
Piss break, smoke break. As soon as he started talking about that, I was out back.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened there.
Jay
But
Bone.
yeah, absolutely. J-Bone, we love you, dog.
And he's still doing great with Smash This Podcast. Which
Yeah,
is,
he's tearing it up with
killing it, man.
his show.
Listen. In case he goes back and listens to this, I just want to be clear. It wasn't you. It was the topic you were on. I had no interest in it, and we butted heads a few times, so I figured the best thing to do was just for me to quietly walk away.
we miss you, Jay.
We miss J-Bone.
We miss
He's a
Bubba,
good guy.
man. Yeah, J-Bone's a good guy. Bubba's a good guy, too, and we miss the crew. And it's a shame that Bubba doesn't want to do this anymore. Jason's just way too busy, and we're not right now.
I mean, technically, you're way too ugly for this,
Like I said,
but you know,
that's why I work in the business that I do, because I'm fucking ugly. Nobody wants to see this face.
you have a face for radio. That is absolutely
I
the truest thing I've ever
I
heard you
also
say.
have the voice for radio, which is why which helps with my thing.
Well,
Look,
I've always said Dizzy has the voice of radio.
I do. Thank you, Baron. Thank you. I appreciate
Hey,
it.
I'm no longer Baron. I want to be referred to as Dong.
Dongzilla, the artist formerly known as the Baron.
Oh, that's
You
great.
should just change your name every time we get on the air. You should
Oh,
just,
yeah, I have a brand new name.
yeah. I
Okay,
am
next
no
time we get on, I'll be
longer-
King Dong.
I am no longer Dongzilla. I am God. The artist formerly known as Dongzilla, the artist formerly known as the Baron.
I am Jon Snow. That will be my next one.
I am Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
I am.
Well, absolutely, we're going to do it again. I think for sure, 100%, we'll have to do it more often.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a good time. Agent, go tell your friends that we're gonna do this again. We're gonna get on the air. Tell your friends, bring them on, bring them in when we're live, and we will definitely do it again. All right, just gonna wrap it up. Ramblers Unleashed, and thanks for taking us part of your evening, man. Appreciate it. Happy Sunday. Happy work week too. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow us on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed. And join us next time for another Ramblers Unleashed.
That guy is super sexy, by the way.